Hi, I'm AeonAir in this video. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to more Drama Dash. I get asked all the time, especially whenever I'm getting really annoyed at a level on stream, is this worse than blank? And the most frequent answer I have to that is just no. Mostly because people always ask me about Sonic Wave, and just that Sonic Wave doesn't really count. So what I thought we were going to be doing today is I'm going to be listing my 10 least favorite experiences with Extreme Demons in Drama Dash. And what I specifically mean by this is not bad levels. I want to preface that immediately. These are not bad levels. Most of these I actually like as levels. I got like two of them. But that's besides the point. The levels aren't necessarily bad. These are just the worst experiences I had playing them. That essentially means I don't necessarily hate the level. I just did not have a very fun time playing them. I'm obviously going to be excluding Sakupen Hell and Sonic Wave Rebirth because that would be like the most obvious thing ever. But that's just because it makes it less interesting, right? Like if I'm going to list my least favorite stuff and then my least favorite stuff is the most obvious thing on the planet, that doesn't make for entertaining content. I'm going to be listing my 10 least favorite GD Extreme Demon experiences, excluding my least favorite Extreme Demon experiences. Let's get started. First and foremost, we have Shatter. For those of you who do not remember, I beat Shatter back when it was on the list and before it got nerfed. The nerfed version I've heard is much better, very fun, very enjoyable. However, me alongside every other person who ever played Shatter on the not nerfed version can agree that it kind of sucked. There were a bunch of really nasty choke points in the first 30%, and the last duel was just absurdly hard. Not a very good time. I got very lucky with Shatter. I basically fluked it. I got far like twice. Thank God for that, because I still absolutely despised it, because the thing about Shatter that made Shatter what it was, especially back before it got nerfed, was the fact that you got past 15% every 10 minutes. And those 10 minutes of just dying to a 13 over and over again was the most agonizing thing of all time. Those clicks that were massive choke points have been nerfed, but I've heard that they're still really hard. So if you ever try and play Shatter, and you find yourself getting stuck on like a couple inputs, remember, those clicks were harder. Shatter is one of the aforementioned levels that I actually think is a good level. I think Shatter's a great level in itself. Did not like playing it. Number 9 is the Flawless. This is a level I beat 6 years ago. I beat it in 2017. I don't even know if the current version of the Flawless is the one I beat because it's been updated like 20 times. However, this is one of those levels that I played because Trust verified it, and it was very boring. Like, insufferably boring. It has sleep-inducingly slow gameplay, first and foremost, and it's just not very enjoyable, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's just one of those levels that, it's what people think Bloodbath and Cataclysm is, but without actually being interesting. It's just Stray Fly. Like, literally just Stray Fly and boring timing. Like, half the level is Stray Fly, the other half of the level is slow speed timings, and it's just insufferable. It's one of the reasons I quit Extreme Demons for such a long time afterwards, because I was stuck on the Flawless for a very long time, and then after I beat it, I was like, you know what? Do I even enjoy playing hard levels anymore? I don't think so. And then I quit Extreme Demons for like three years. So yeah, that was fun. Number 8 is a level you might have thought was going to be a little bit higher up on the list. It is Distraught by Alkali, and I don't really have anything to say about it. It's just very boring, and it's kind of weirdly high CPS carried, especially the middle section. Everyone complains about the pre-drop being like super difficult. I didn't find it that hard because I'm timing carried very evidently, considering the fact that I'm beating like every timing level ever right now. But Distraught specifically just got on my nerves because I was getting what everyone else considered far all the time, and then I just died to like UFO spam that just killed me, because for some reason there's like 4 separate sections where you have to have like 7 CPS, and it's really weird. And then the triple click burst at like 82%. It's just, why? It makes a lot of really weird design decisions in the gameplay that makes absolutely no sense. That just drove me crazy. Sorry. Okay, we're not doing that now. Okay, we're not doing this today. But Distraught was just one of those levels that riled me up, because it just, the hard things that I expected to be hard weren't actually that hard, and then the not hard things, according to everyone else, was really hard because I just couldn't do it. I struggled with it a lot. I got a lot of drop attempts that just died to the same spam stuff over and over again. It was the most annoying thing ever. Number 7 is the most boring level of all time. It is Hate War by Stormfly. I legitimately cannot explain this level in a way that doesn't make it sleep. It's just very boring. There's nothing that happens. The gameplay is the most unengaging thing of all time. The last 30% of the level is actually nothing, where you just go ship and you click blue orbs to avoid spikes. It's just, what? It's actually so absurdly boring. But, you know, sometimes it's fine, I guess. It's just one of those levels that I beat. I was like, yeah, that's shit. I moved on with my life. Number 6 is Pure Veil by Kusti. Pure Veil is a good level. This is another one of those good levels that I mentioned that I like the level itself. I just absolutely hated playing it for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it suffers from very similar things as the Flawless, where it's just very incredibly straightforward gameplay to the point where it's kind of boring. And then add on the fact that the hardest part of the level is in the second half. It's incredibly second half carried, especially the dual wave. The dual wave is brutal, so much harder than everything else. And then the last shift part is just, it's so hard for no reason. The only person I know who hasn't died to the last ship like 30 times was Wolves. Like, everyone else dies to the last ship like a billion times. And it's like a much harder level than you would think. Like, it doesn't look hard, but it's really difficult for some reason. Like, even some of the best extreme grinders that I know spend like 2,000 attempts on it. It's weirdly difficult, and it's because of how slow it is. It just becomes such a drag. Like, it's not a bad level or anything. It's just fundamentally the gameplay is just snooze-inducing. Number 5 is Silentium Gratas, one of 2 levels that I absolutely hated, and the reason why I don't do GDDP monthlies anymore. Silentium Gratas is, I would argue, most of the reason why you will probably not see me do silent clubstep, because it's just silent clubstep but easier. Got so annoyed with this level because while it's easier silent clubstep, it does remain the balancing, meaning that you don't really ever get to the drop, and whenever you get to the drop, you will just die to the duel. The duel sucks ballsack. I don't really have anything else to say. It's silent clubstep but easier. Do I really need to explain why it's a bad level? No, not really. I don't really need to. It's just bad. Number 4 is a level that I kind of wish was better because I love the 2 levels that it's based on. Biohazard by R2. Biohazard is a disappointment to me because I love Stalemate, and I love Stalemate Redux. I think they're fantastic levels. Biohazard is just boring, and I beat it after it got nerfed as well, so it's like, it wasn't even meant to be bad. They tried to make it good, but then it just suffers from so many small things. Like, the balancing is infinitely worse than it is in Stalemate Redux, and Stalemate Redux doesn't even have that good of a balancing. It's just not the best balancing ever, but then Biohazard is that, but like 10 times worse. But I also found the end of Biohazard to be like way more choke point carried. I think the choke pointiness of it, but I also think my primary issue with why I dislike it as much as I did was that it is just so much more uninteresting gameplay wise and less satisfying. The thing that makes Stalemate Redux for me such a good level, partially, let's remove the fact that I'm biased here towards Stalemate Redux because I did it as the hardest, right? The gameplay is just more satisfying. The gameplay in Biohazard has never felt satisfying to me. And I think that's part of the issue for me, because it's not meant to be a bad level by any means. I just didn't find the gameplay equally as satisfying as I did with Stalemate Redux. And I think that kind of disappointed me. And I think that disappointment kind of clouded my judgment. Not to say that the level is good, but I think experience-wise, I think a lot of my distaste for it comes from the fact that I wanted it to be way more than it was, because I really, really like Stalemate Redux. And I think that it suffers from that, right? Number 3 is one of my most controversial takes of all time, apparently. Troll Level by Lexicat? What was their username in the game? I forget. Doesn't matter. Troll Level. Twitter had a goddamn frenzy when I said that I hated Troll Level, and I will stand by it. I think Troll Level was incredibly boring to learn. It is just frustrating because half of the time you don't even die to something that has to do with learning the level. You just die because it has a buttload of choke points that are incredibly frustrating, and that's just kind of like the whole level. Like, the level wasn't fun to learn to begin with. Like, the memory aspect of it is just kind of boring. Like, the memory of the level doesn't actually like introduce any cool gimmicks. It's kind of like, you know when you're trying to like sprinkle some natural stuff on like a canvas, and you just like take your paintbrush and you're just gonna like flick it? That's kind of like how the gameplay feels. It's just random shit thrown on canvas and then just removed it so that the gameplay functions. And a result of that is the fact that it's painfully unbalanced, and it doesn't have anything to go on. It's just boring timings, boring gameplay, all things considered, and it just doesn't do anything interesting. A lot of my favorite memory levels are some of my favorite memory levels because they have cool gimmicks. Mainframe is a very good example of that. I love the level because it introduces cool mechanics and cool gimmicks to make the memory interesting. Troll Level does not have that. Troll Level has nothing like that, and it's just one of those levels that I just genuinely dislike. As a result of that, I just don't understand the appeal. It's one of the few levels that I will just straight out say I just don't get why it's popular. I don't understand the appeal of it whatsoever, and I did not have fun playing it. Thankfully, I fluked it. Kinda. Did I fluke it? I mean, I didn't get super unlucky. I think I had like 1 far death, which is fine, right? But it's not that good. Number 2 is the only extreme event I've never uploaded a video of, and it is because of the fact that I just don't like it. It is Tech Manifestation. Oh boy. I've seen a lot of people like this level as of late, and I don't really understand why. Tech Manifestation is another one of those levels that's just incredibly boring to play. Like, the gameplay is so primitive, and it just has like random ass near frame perfect choke points. There's like one jump that's like a 60th frame perfect for whatever reason. It's really hard, and it just, I don't know, it just never appealed to me. Visually, it looks fantastic. I think visually it does look pretty cool. Fantastic might be a little bit of a stretch, but it doesn't look bad, okay? It does not look bad whatsoever, but it's kind of boring, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Like, I legitimately just do not have any thoughts and opinions on it. It also has the dumbest ending to any level ever, with a blind hard-ass wave timing at 90, and then an extended triple spike at the end, which kind of sucks. But anyway, it's just a boring level. There's nothing else to it. And number 1, to nobody's surprise, we have No Jokes. No Jokes, I love conceptually. I think it's a fantastic level. Absolutely amazing level. But playing it is one of the worst things I've ever gone through, because the first 50% of the level is painstakingly difficult, to the point where it's just like, it's not even like the beginning isn't even that hard. Like, I'm thinking back at it, and there's like 6% is really hard, 12% is really hard, 17% is really hard, 30% is really hard, 35 is really hard, 37, 38, 41. That's basically all you die to, and then you get to the drop, and then it's just click and pray. Thankfully, the drop is very consistent. The drop is super consistent. The problem is you just never get there, and it's just one of those levels that, because of how short the level is, having that many choke points, and when I say choke points, I mean like top 10 difficulty inputs, right? Because the rest of the gameplay is already really difficult, but you get so consistent at everything else. It's just like, I don't know. It's just one of those, I've never played a level that felt so much like just bashing my head against a wall. Like, ever. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. It is literally just bashing your head against a wall simulator until you just beat it at random. Which kind of sucks, because it's a level I wanted to like. I wanted to really like it. I just couldn't. But maybe, I hope time will be healing for it, because I also had the same thoughts and opinions on Super Probably level, but with time, that has become more and more of a level that I truly appreciate, and I can look past my experience of it. I hope that's the same for No Jokes, because I really want it to be. But anyway, I'll see you guys around. Eat your green, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Thank you for making my day better. Hope my yours is a little bit better too. Tell me what your least favorite experiences with are in the game, because everyone has that one level that they absolutely wanted to gouge their eyeballs out because of. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys around. Take care, everyone.